Welcome to the first episode of Crimson's Tales from the Totes, where I discuss merchandise, mainly shirts, because I collect shirts now, but I've collected other things over the years, and maybe we'll delve into different areas, have some special guests. I have some planned, some hopefully in the future will come on. I've already had some yeses, but I mainly collect Riddle Box. I have Hollow Wicked, Gathering Crew shirts, prize shirts, and various other Juggler-related merchandise. But this episode, like I said, is my first one. We're going to go over 3 shirts, try and keep these a little, smaller size to keep you interested. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is the very first ICP shirt I ever bought. So, I go into a record store, and I heard ICP before. Riddle Box was not the first thing I heard, of course. I actually heard an EP before I heard any main albums from ICP, from some random guy I met in Florida that was following the Grateful Dead around. So, weird little thing that they were called family too, a lot of the hippies that followed the Dead. And then ICP, kind of picked up the moniker of family later. But I was Rainbow Family. I was a stop-off where people could hang out and, have a place to stay, get them some food, and on their journeys of following whatever band or idea they were following at the time. So, skipped a few years later, after that, it was 98, I go in a local record store in my hometown, and there's this, shirt. Usually don't wear white shirts, but I like Insane Clown Posse. So, I'm like, I'll buy the shirt. I like Riddle Box. It's cool. I wanted the black shirt with just a Riddle Box face, but they didn't have it. It always seemed to sell out. They just put 3 of these shirts on the rack. And if you know, back then, extra large was the biggest size that you could usually find unless, you special ordered it. 2X was the next biggest size. So I go in and, I get this shirt. The Riddle Box poster shirt, as it's now called, with wicked clowns on the back. It's a nice white shirt. I wore it a few times. I'm not a fan of white shirts because of I get them dirty too much. So I wore it a few times, and then I traded it or sold it to a friend before I started collecting ICP merch really hardcore. So, I lived in Ohio, and then I ended up moving to Charlotte. Charlotte is where I really started collecting merch, like I said, hardcore. Had a really good paying job. So that gives you disposable income to start hunting down the things you've always wanted. So this shirt, it's a white shirt. I ended up getting it back off a friend a few years later. Mine's Wild Oats. Psychopathic Trader says that Anvil was in 98, but I don't know, Wild Oats was probably a producer around that time too. ICP is very notorious for just saying, give me whatever shirt when they order a shirt. They don't care what the tag is. As we go through my episodes, you'll find out that some shirts that are OGs were actually printed on a couple different shirts and still considered the first printing pressing. So we went, like I said, I got the shirt back off a friend. And when I got it back, I don't know if you can see, but white shirts sometimes don't stay white. So it is a faded old Riddle Box poster shirt, but my first shirt that I ever got, probably is, a lot of sentimental value, more so than some of the other shirts I have. Second shirt I ever got, we'll go over that in probably a few episodes when I start going over Hollow Wicked things. So that's a little bit about that shirt. There is on Psychopathic Traders, they have it listed. There's the reprint, and they have one listed on the back that says ICP. While there's never been a picture that surfaced where it says ICP on the back, We've only heard rumors and stories about someone seeing it. I'm a huge Riddle Box collector. I would have paid good money for that shirt. I have never seen it. So it could have just been somebody misremembering. It could have been someone seeing a white shirt that had that on the back and they just thought, like the Ringmaster poster shirt says Insane Clown Posse on the back. So it could have been them thinking this was the same shirt. I don't know, over the years, you know, rumors get spread. Things that don't exist, you know, people say exist. The whole Mandela effect thing going on with merchandise. So this is my first shirt I ever got. You know, there's some cool things about it that I realized today when I was, you know, looking up research and on this shirt. So, you know, whoop whoop on this shirt. So this, I'm gonna go a little bit over the quality of the shirt. So this shirt was 98, and we're what now? 20 some years later, and even though it's been faded and worn and washed, a few stains, the print is still spot on. I mean, good quality print. Whoever they had made that shirt, I applaud them. They're still in good shape 20 plus years later. So the next shirt I'm going to talk about, I got a year or two after this shirt, maybe 2 years. I didn't buy it originally when it came out. I had to buy it off another collector. And it is the Riddle Box long sleeve shirt. Just your typical Riddle Box logo on the front. You know, Insane Clown Posse. You know, Riddle Box on the back. Gildan tag. This is an extra large. Pretty mint, pretty nice shape. Maybe not mint, but it's at least a 9. No holes. Print still good. Nice and thick print. Until it's not one of the later reprints because it's got this really thick printing to it. I do have another one. It's 2X. A little bit thinner print. Not as good a shape because I wear it. So this shirt, I think you could only get it on tour. I don't think it was ever for sale at record stores. If it was, maybe regional, Detroit, Midwest area. I know a lot of other stores didn't carry. Maybe Texas, after, you know, Texas was a big hotspot for some ICP merch. So just regular print. No trademark on it, which, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I have an OG Riddle Box shirt, you know, because it has the trademark copyright on it. Doesn't mean it's OG. That just means whenever they went and copyrighted, trademarked it. Some companies, when they print up shirts, the screens they make have to have that on it. A lot of the ones that actually was made by Psychopathic Records don't have the trademarks on it. And also, I think in that time, they were in flux between record labels. You know, Island was picking up distribution. Yeah, there's other things that was going on at the time with the label. So their trademarks, maybe they didn't want to put it because of that. But long sleeve, the OG does not have a trademark. Other pressings may have. You know, just the regular face, darker purple. You know, there's different variations of the purple that's on these too. This is the darker purple. I love the nice contrast of the two colors. You know, the like cuffed sleeves, not the wide open long sleeve, which is, I believe, a later version they went to. I don't think there's a Riddle Box with the wider sleeves. I think there might be a Malenko though. Unless we're talking prototypes and promos, which we'll get into later. I have another long sleeve version that there's only one that I've ever seen. That's for another show. Third shirt I'm going to talk about tonight is part of the Shaggy custom era. Shaggy went and redrew the first 6. You know, we only had 6. And this is the Riddle Box version. You can see on the back, got kind of graffiti type Riddle Box on it. You know, this is on a Gildan tag. And you know, some cool little design things in it. Like if you look at the box has like the little embellishments in the corners, and you know, the spring is all like bounced out and everything. Shaggy did a group of these 2006, I want to say, like September, October, and he did all the first 6 Joker cards. They were pretty good sellers. I think they reprinted this at least once or restocked it. Maybe not a total reprint. You know, reprint has different tags, maybe different material, like a different color they use in it. A restock is the same shirt, they just like had more of them made. So there's a little bit difference in variations in what's considered a reprint, a restock, total different design, which has happened sometimes. They have actually went to different shirt manufacturers and used like they had to use different plates and printing material because, you know, it's a new place. They don't have all the old plates. So this shirt, I bought it off of Hatchet Gear. You know, nothing really cool and amazing about it. I think I bought a couple. I bought the Wraith, I bought this one, and I think I bought the Carnival of Carnage. I think those are the ones I like, so I bought them. I think I wore it once or twice. Maybe not this one. I think I have a couple of these. So it was I think Shaggy did another version of some of his customs or artwork that he released on some stuff in the 2013, 14. I think he did a few too. So there is like another Shaggy drawn Riddle Box one, which we'll get into another time. The tote I pulled out tonight to talk about things was mainly my Riddle Box shirts up to 2010-ish, maybe 12-ish. I have another tote of newer stuff that I need to dig out. Last shirt I'm going to talk about is they did these foil print shirts, which the design was amazing, I thought. I've had a couple of them. They're beautiful when you get them right at first. But as time goes on, they can deteriorate. This one I don't think has even been washed. If it has been once. And it just looks like crap. I mean, from the side view, you can see the nice green, like, foil pressing of it. I don't know if, like, you can see, like, through it. Like, it looks really, like, beautiful in, like, when you put the picture up. Like, when you see it in person, you first buy it. But then when you look at it, it's like, man, what happened to it? Like, why'd it fade? So at the back, we just have a hatchet man with, you know, Riddle Box down on your butt, so people can look at your butt and go, oh, yeah, he's got a Riddle Box butt. I don't know. Sometimes they put the nameplate down there for some reason. Again, these shirts were made. Great idea. I had a twisted Batman logo one. I think I had the Malenko one. And I had one other one. I can't remember at the time. Somebody offered me a lot of money for one of them, and I actually traded one of my other ones to get another Riddle Box one, so I have 2 of these foil ones. I don't know how many they actually produced. I heard less than 20, because after before they even sold them, they were basically damaged goods. So they didn't restock them. They didn't make any more. At the Mud Gathering in 2006, you had the option of making shirts, and they had a slightly foiling process there that you could have chose as well. I think a friend of mine made a Riddle Box one, so I'm gonna, when I have him on, we'll discuss it and maybe compare the 2 and see what the differences are. If some of you don't know, I'll go a little bit of my bio. I'm Crimson Juggalo. I've been down for 25 years or so. It's been a long time. 30 years. Maybe not 30. Feels like it. Feels like a lot of my life I've been down with the clowns. Met a lot of great friends. The music's been up and down for me. Riddle Box is my favorite album, mainly because of design. I'm a huge Joker fan, so the purple and green's always been, I like the contrast, the colors. Back on the old, oh geez, what were those boards in like '98? I was American Juggalo for like 2 years, and then I became Crimson Juggalo about 99, 2000, when I really started to get into merch a lot more. A lot of people ask me questions. I usually get 2 to 3 questions a week regarding merch. Hey, what's the info on this? What's, do you know the value? Do you know the rarity? As things go on, I'm going to start giving a rarity rating, and then maybe even a grading scale, of condition, but that's later. Rarity, we will go, I'm going to use like the Juggalo scale. So it's a 0 to 7. So the longest, the best, or not best, but the rarest thing will be full Juggalo. It'll have the O, maybe even do an exclamation point or 2 at the end if it's unique. None of these are full Juggalo. I would say we'll go in order of which shirts I had. The poster shirt, nowadays I would say it would be 4 out of 7. It's still kind of hard to find. So that would be both G's, Juggg, out of the Juggalo scale. You can find it. The price on it, prices vary. I'm not going to put prices on certain things. Some things, if they're one of a kind, it's what somebody's going to pay for it. I have some shirts that I've turned down offers of $2,000 on. This shirt, I would say around $50. Condition of mine, probably a little less. You get the original tag one, you could probably get a little bit more. Especially mint, unworn, unwashed. I've seen unworn, unwashed versions of the shirt go for $150 and higher. Then we go to the long sleeve shirt. Now, long sleeve shirts, I would say it would be 5 out of 7. So we're at the Jugga. Not full Juggalo, but up to Jugga. They're hard to find. Used condition, even worn condition, $75. 50 if they're beat up. I've seen them go for more. $200 probably isn't out of the range of a unworn, unwashed near mint one, or mint one, not near mint one. But they're hard to find. That might even be all. Yeah, I'd say 5 out of 7 is probably a good number on that one. Shaggy Custom. I'd say a 5 out of 7. You know, it's 12 years old plus now. I think it was on the web store, on tour a little bit. And either you love it or you hate it. And my knowledge is that they may have restocked it once. So, I don't know. I don't know if they get 50 shirts at a time or 100. But there isn't a ton of them out there. But you can find them. You know, it's probably the cheapest shirt that I've showed tonight. 20 to 50 bucks, depending condition, size, and things like that. Not super rare. But it is, you know, it is harder to find. It's just not as sought after as some other items. And then last shirt's the foil shirt. We're talking, it's a rare shirt. Like I said, I don't know how many they made, 10, 20, one pressing, never did them again. They were only on the web store for a short period of time. I'd say 6 out of 7. It's not full juggalo, but it's juggle. You know, it's getting there. So I want to thank WhoopX2 for having me on their channel. I go to Psychopathic Traders for information. Not as in-depth as it used to be, but hopefully we can update that more as the time goes on. You know, I want to update information, maybe do a rarity scale, things of that nature, so people can know, like, hey, what they have. Maybe not give you a dollar amount. Sometimes dollar amounts are fluid, especially with the economy. You know, it could be, quit bouncing the table, boy. Sorry, my son was vibrating the table with his elbow. So if I look all quirky, it's because of that. Sorry about that. But like I said, you know, I'm Crimson Juggalo. It's probably just gonna be Crimson's Tales from the Totes. I'm gonna go over more stuff. Look, I got a couple totes here, some new stuff. I might do another episode soon talking about just some recent things I've got. I've got 3-4 totes of stuff in the last 3 months. Got about a tote a month. You know, we had Juggalo Day, we had Hallowicked, we had Ballas, we had some of the tours that went through, plus some other rare and unique items that I picked up over, you know, I got a couple Ritter Box Crew items, a prototype, some other things.